Hello, friends. This is Nikki Pugh, aka the Gentle Healthy Traveler, and today I have a V2V, a Victim to Victorious story with Ella Grace. How are you, Ella? How's it going?
I am good, Nikki. How are you?
I am really good. She has an amazing story. I just want to preface it a little bit. If you haven't seen Thomas Schwabe's video interview that is should be on that same email that you got, folks, go back and definitely watch him because these two interviews pair very, very nicely together. Thomas Schwabe is a prophetic dream interpreter. Ella Grace has had a lifetime of dreams that have influenced her when she has been in crisis points in her life. That's what we're going to talk about. And I really love this subject because I think it's something that not a lot of people get to talk about or maybe even consider, that when you're in a crisis or you're going through any kind of change of life, you can really evaluate and reflect on your dreams. And Elle's going to talk about where she thinks that those dreams came from, the meaning of them, and in your life. And so I just encourage you to reflect, journal about your dreams. Ella's going to talk about dream journaling. Here we go. Ella says, I have been so blessed by following my dreams. I consider encouraging others to do the same as gratitude in action. I love that. Dreams speak truth and have great value in guiding your life. Becoming open-hearted and open-minded to your spirit through your dreams is a mysterious and exciting journey. Yes, it is. Courage grows with validation. Wisdom and revelation is available if you take the time to listen. I hope sharing my experiences will inspire you to living the dream. And Ella is also a visual artist and an amazing singer. And a lot of that work has been informed by dreams as well. So take it away, Alice. Take us from the beginning. Wherever you want to start, like a big giant introduction, wherever you want to start in your journey, your V2V journey, and sharing some of the dreams that you've had.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I'm just really grateful for this opportunity to share with others what I've been so blessed with. My journey started in 1990 when I entered recovery from addiction and post-traumatic stress syndrome. That was 31 years ago. So I have, at this point, slowly through this process of all these years, been really completely transformed. Wow. You know, a lot of 12-step programs talk about a profound personality change. Yeah. And that is what I've experienced. And I do consider myself a recovered alcoholic at this point. But through that time and continuing, you know, we're always evolving and changing and growing. And back in 2011, I had a vision. So I guess it was the only vision I've had up to this point. And what happened was I was sober and I was doing well, but I was having some trouble with attracting the wrong relationships, and had some inside things that were still unhealed, some wounds from way back in childhood that I think dreams and just things in life, God works through people. He works through dreams, through the written word, the spoken word, through art. All of these things were just were very helpful to me. And at that time in 2011, I was alone. And actually, I was taking a bath, which is interesting because they talk about water as a conductor. And all of a sudden, everything turned purple. The room turned purple, the ceiling, everything in the bathroom. I kind of looked out the bathroom into the hallway. Everything was purple.
Wow. And so this was, just to clarify, this was not a dream. You were awake and you had
when I was awake.
Vision. Wow.
Yeah, this is the only vision is when you're awake. Dream is when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
And it was so powerful. It lasted about 15 minutes. And I kind of sat around and thought, okay, this is interesting, but I don't know how, I guess it's almost like I was downloaded with what this was. And what I heard was grace is purple. And I thought, okay, grace, I've heard of grace before. I've heard of the grace of God. I didn't exactly know what that meant. I thought it had something to do with mercy, something to do with forgiveness, something to do with the path that I was on and wanted to continue on. And I took it as a pretty positive thing. Since then, in case anyone hasn't noticed, in the past 10 years, purple has become a big deal.
It really has.
Lots of purple. And I feel that that vision told me that the higher power, the beauty, the love, the grace, the mercy was descending on the earth and was available to all of his children and all of the nations. And that was really life-changing for me in 2011. And at that time, also, a lot of music came through, a lot of music. And I actually started a project, a musical project called Grace is Purple. So, which actually just got resurrected, which I'm continuing on in the music now. But just to back up a little, yeah, it's really, really, really fun. So, but just the victim to victorious, which is such a powerful phrase. And, you know, the whole process in between being a victim to transformation and victory is not for the faint at heart. It is available to anyone. However, it does take an enormous amount of willingness, courage, trust, support, all of these things that are available, but part of the availability is the humility to humble yourself, stuff your pride, and ask for help. And that was my beginning. And in that beginning in 1990, in my first 5 to 7 years of sobriety, I started having this dream. And the dream was about a kitten that was underneath my bed. And at the time I was living with my sponsor, and I would wake up, and she was a huge support to me. And I would say, I had a dream about a kitten under my bed, and it was awful, Nikki. It was mangy, it was sick, had patches of skin missing, it was bloody, it was beaten up. And I didn't want to dream about that kitten. And I really just wanted that to go away. Unfortunately, through the next 5 to 7 years, that kitten, I came to realize, was me. And the inner child, the abuse from the past, all those things, they got healed through a series of dreams. And as I got better, I would have these dreams about this kitten. And I remember the day, about 5 years later, I said to my sponsor, oh my God, the kitten is looking like, just the fur is healing, it's happy, it's not malnourished, it's not dying anymore, it's alive, it's thriving. And I just felt in my heart, I said, I knew that that was my journey, you know? So it was kind of like this process of healing through that reoccurrent series of dreams. So I think that was kind of the first, you know, really, really powerful, brought me to tears at the time that I knew that God was changing me from the inside out. And
can I ask a question about that particular dream? At what point did you know, and kind of how did you know that the kitten represented you?
You know, I was doing 12-step work, And in the Boston area, where I was for the first 40 years of my life and where I got sober, they have this program called an AWOL, Another Way of Life. And it's a very intense program where you don't just talk about the steps, you do them. And you do them together as a group. It was a women's group. And so I was doing a lot of inner child work. And oftentimes just thinking about that inner child, because of the amount of dysfunction and abuse and trauma that I had, I didn't want to open my heart and look at her, which was me. I just wanted to live my life and not have to look in, I wanted to just skip that bridge and get to the other side and be all happy and fine.
Right.
Unfortunately, my healing takes place as we go inward, and I had to, and that what I saw when I opened that door, and it was funny, it was like a dungeon door, and I almost could hear the creak in my meditation when I would open this door, and
Wow.
I'd see myself as that. So it was just a revelation, like, oh my God, that kitten is representing
You just kind of
me.
knew.
Yeah.
Wow. So powerful.
It was kind of obvious if you knew me back then.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I wanted to ask you, because a lot of times we might have a profound dream, but we don't take the time to really think about, we just kind of say, I don't know what it means, and then go on about our day. But a lot of times we do know what it means, and it's usually that first initial nudge. And I would just encourage you, don't dismiss it. Ella didn't dismiss it. She really kind of took it in and wow, I got to really look at this. So because there's so much, it's packed full of information. There's so much information there. And
yeah. And I think too, when I think about it, because I didn't want to look at myself and deal with all that, those feelings and emotions I needed, those open wounds from childhood. I didn't know how to look at them as me. So you think about a kitten. Well, nobody wants a kitten to be hurt and sick. We all want to take that kitten and take it in our arms and love it and nurse it back to health. So it was almost like a way that my higher power used to say, okay, Ella, maybe you're not ready to love yourself completely right now. Maybe you can't do that right now, but I'm going to show you a way through the dreams of this kitten. And then I'm going to show you that you can do that for yourself, that is doing it for yourself. So it worked. He knows what he's doing, even when we don't,
You think? Oh my God. So yeah,
really.
So, do you want to share some other dreams that you've had on your journey and their significance?
Yeah, well, one of the things, I had a dream coming more up to the current time. I woke up and I told my husband, wow, this is really strange. I had a dream of a bunny rabbit, and there was a tree and there was carrots growing off the tree.
Oh.
And the bunny was kind of sitting under the tree, but he wasn't looking up. So he didn't know that the tree was full of carrots.
Wow.
And provision was there and everything was provided, but he wasn't looking up and he couldn't see it. And when I woke up, I thought, okay, I need to paint that. So I did. And at first it was like, what is this bunny under this carrot tree? And then I started to really look at it and realize, some of these cute little paintings that I've done, there's this big message in it. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, and I named the painting Provision, because everything, the provision was there from God, but you don't know if your eyes aren't open and your heart isn't open, you really miss a lot. And it's just better to open your eyes, and sometimes it's not easy to see things, and it's especially not easy to see things within yourself, you know, but there is a path. If your eyes are open, you can find a path to a new way.
That's amazing. And a lot of times things real are just kind of like right there, and we get to know where to look. And
Yeah.
I love it. I love the symbolism. And viewers, you're probably seeing the painting, the drawing right now on your screen. So there is Ella's
cool. My
provision. Provision. I love it. And it's so true. You know, we'll be showing some of your images a little bit later as well, that your paintings are very sweet, but if you look deeply into them, you know, really look, there's a hidden meaning behind that's pretty profound. So that is so cool to hear that story behind that. And of course, that's my favorite painting because I love bunnies. I have a bunny.
You're a bunny lover like me.
She's kind of jutted across here a couple of times in a couple of the interviews. I don't know where she is right now, but you might have seen that. Okay, you said that you had I want to talk about this one. You've had a few dreams of 1111. That is a significant number. A lot of people might have heard of the number 1111, and you associated that with the reasons why you relocated and became an artist.
So yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah.
So I started seeing 1111 when I was in 2000. I remember 11/11 of 2011, and I remember that day, and that was around the time I had the vision that Grace is purple. After that, every time I looked at a clock, when I got change at the store, on the receipt, I saw 11/11 constantly. And that slowed down this past year, but it was pretty regular. So about 7 years ago, I came up to Sedona for a weekend with some friends, and I was living in Phoenix, and I went into the Village Gallery in the village of Oak Creek in Sedona. And me and my girlfriend are looking around, and for some reason, Nikki, I had Googled 11/11, and I knew it was this worldwide phenomena. And I listened to different people and their takes on it, and nothing resonated with me at that time of what people thought. So I go into the gallery, and there's an artist there named Nina, and I said, I just was really propelled to ask her when I made a purchase of a piece of jewelry. I said, does 11/11 mean anything to you? And her jaw dropped. And she pointed up on the wall to this painting. It was the biggest painting in the gallery. And she said, that is 11/11. And I just kind of looked up, and the painting was, it was a fractal geometry image that I don't know what's behind it, but she does, taking numbers, and something about a computer image that she does numbers, and this is what it looks like. So she said, that is 11/11. And it almost looked like a cosmos galaxy, colorful. So I thought to myself, of course, the two people that were with me, they were like, oh, well, maybe this 11/11 thing is something, because, you know, my friends always thought I was a little out there.
A little out there.
You know, they're like, what is she talking about? But they really
Join the
like,
club.
whoa. Yeah, it was validating. It's like, whoa. And I said, so it was after that I really felt that I was supposed to move to the Sedona area. Up to that point, I had not painted since high school. Since that point, since I followed that, my spirit, my heart, my gut, everything was, that is almost like, you know, if you were going to leave a trail for someone to follow, that was part of the trail, part of my path. I'm supposed to come up here. Still didn't know I was going to become an artist. I had been a nurse for 30 years. So through a series of events, somebody handed me this this little red tin, and she said, do you want this? It was actually an elderly patient of mine. She was going into assisted living. She goes, I don't know what this is, Ella. Do you want this? So I look, and I didn't know what it was. I open it up, and there's these colors, and I said, I think these are watercolors. So, I could have put those away and just thought, oh, that's nice that the old lady gave me, but having the frame of mind and the frame of heart to realize how the universe works, how God works, how everything is intertwined and intertangled on such a quantum level that as fluid as our lives are, as I think like as an antenna as I am, to have the antenna up and be getting the messages, being aware of the signals. When I got those watercolors, I said, okay, I'm living here now, the 1111 experience in the gallery, well, maybe I'll start painting. I started painting, dreams kept coming of what to paint. I would see colors and images in my dreams, started painting, and then I thought, maybe I'll get juried into that said gallery and give it a shot. And I did. And I've been there for 2 years now. And it's like, sometimes I look and I go, I call it a magic carpet ride. It's
Beautiful.
like life is, when you're in that, you know what I mean? When you're in that,
in the flow.
Fluidity.
Yeah.
You're just riding on it, and you're in the flow of life, and in everything. I think mostly it's just getting out of your own way.
Yeah.
And letting things happen.
There's a lot of trust, what we could call faith.
Yes.
Faith in the universe, faith in God, faith. I love the term faith is a substance. I think that's a verse, but it really is. Faith is a substance, that we can kind of like grow, trust, and then there's a synchronicity that happens. And dreams are a part of that. It really are.
And the trust grows because I didn't trust. I came from a place I didn't trust anyone. I didn't even especially trust myself. But as I took steps to say, okay, God's grace is with me. Okay, and I started to trust in. And obviously I wouldn't have continued if I didn't have the experience that this is all real. This isn't some hoo-hoo jar, thing. This is available, and it's real, and it can be trusted.
You started to have a little bit of proof too, right? I mean, you had some evidence that there is some validity, or a lot of validity, to the images that we have in our dreams, and just the synchronicities, and then learning to trust the God within, or your intuitive nudge. I would love personally. I would love to see that artist interpretation of the number 11. That is phenomenal. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. To geometrically, or 4/5 dimensionally express a number, because these numbers are, numbers 11, 11, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4. They're constants in the universe.
Yeah. And there's something to do with the pyramids with 11s too. But I'll just share what's been revealed to me lately, because I've really said, what is this 1111 God? Like what is it? It's all these different things for different people. For me, this is the doorway, and this is a doorway, and there's 2 doorways next to each other. And what happened to me in 2011 is I came out of one doorway, and I began that journey to walk through a better doorway.
Oh yeah, going out and in of a doorway. You can see, wow, 1111 going in and out. I just saw that.
That's what it was. It was like, and this is just for me. I mean, God speaks to everyone a different way, but it was it was like a dark hallway. And I had to walk out of it and walk into the hallway of light.
Wow.
And that's kind of that's how I see that now.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Profound. Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the significance of the dream that you had just before your son passed away? And that was
Yes.
recent. That was recent.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I lost my son.
Thank you.
Yeah, he was my only child. He was 38 years old, and he died September 22nd of 2020. So it's been a little over 14 months.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a musician. We wrote music together, and my birthday's the 21st of September and his is the 24th.
Oh, wow.
So I had turned 60 and he died on the 22nd, and then the 24th he would have been 39. So that whole week is really, it's significant. It's very significant to me. So the dream I had, because my head will get, I don't want to go there right now. Obviously, I miss him tremendously.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing whatever you feel that you want to share. Thank you so much for sharing.
Well, here's why I've been able to have peace and joy in the midst of grief. And that's because of my dreams. And I'm so grateful for them. And I'm so grateful that I had some practice in being aware and not dismissing anything. Before he passed, I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was staying in Phoenix at my friend's house. And I always would have dinner with Joshua, or get together for lunch, get a bite to eat. And I had lunch with him, and something in my gut something wasn't right. He just didn't look right. It didn't feel right. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just was having this dream and heard, it was like this audible voice. Don't go back to Cornville. Bring Joshua to the emergency room in the morning. So I fell back asleep, and I woke up the next day, and I told my friend Lynn, I said, I'm supposed to bring Josh to the emergency room today. She's used to me, so she's like, okay. So we've been friends for a long time. So I called Josh and I said, Josh, I'm coming over. I'm bringing you to the emergency room. And he laughed at me and he said, yeah, Mom, I don't think so. You're ridiculous. You're a nurse. You're worried. You're being crazy. No. So I came back to Cornville. About, I don't know the timing, Nikki, but maybe a few weeks later, I had this dream that I woke up in the morning. I said to my husband, like, you just know when it's significant. And I said, I had this dream that I rented a beach house in California, and it was this beautiful beach house right on the water. And it was on stilts, almost like back home in the Northeast, a lot of those houses in Marchfield and Situate, because of the nor'easters, they're on these stilts, you know? And it was like that, but it was in California, and there was stairs next to the house that went down at such a steep angle, and there was this much sand and then the roaring ocean. So it was like stairs, this much sand in the ocean. And in the dream, I told my husband the next morning, Joshua was standing at the top of the stairs. Everybody else, it was beautiful and sunny, and we were eating, and it was like vacation. It was like a place I was able to provide for my family and friends, and it was like a happy thing. But he stood at the top of the stairs, and he went head first all the way down the stairs, rolled all the way down, right into the ocean, and then in maybe 20 seconds later, came out of the ocean like this. Wow. And I said to my husband, I said, he struggled with depression and alcohol and different things, especially during the lockdown. And he was working from home. He was alone all the time. He was having a difficult time. And I said to my husband, I think this is the dream where God's going to turn his life around, because he came out of the water like this, like like victory, victim to victory. And I thought, I think he's going to turn it around. And then he died. I fortunately got to spend 8 days with him at St. Joseph's in Phoenix, and it was a very precious, sacred time. And he did get out of the hospital, and he did make it to rehab for 4 days. So he died sober, and he died with hope, and his life was getting better. And looking at that dream now, it's very comforting, and it's helped me get through, because the interpretation is that he's okay, and he did turn it around, and he is at peace, and he is free. Wow. Just not on this side. He's on the other side.
Yeah.
And I have many dreams now that, and I swear, Nikki, every time I have a dream of him, and he was a big guy, handsome man. Every time I have a dream of him, like this last one, I was in a gazebo, and it was rolling on its side. And I'm going by this cafeteria where you could see in the window everyone was eating. And he was in the back eating this big sandwich, and he saw me rolling by, and he smiled and waved. So every time, it's so awesome. Every time I see him in a dream, he's got the biggest smile on his face.
Wow.
And it's like, I know he's perfectly fine. I miss him terribly. My heart aches. But if I didn't have that dream, it's like God showed me I was prepared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's so beautiful that you're sharing this, because, if we go down the assumption, the route, which some people do, very analytical, or it's all about biochemistry, our dreams, some people have that. So if we just play around with that for a minute, obviously after losing your son, you're in a state of grief, and you're just in a state of sorrow. It doesn't add up that you would have these dreams where he is just smiling and happy. I mean, that has to come from a larger source, whether it's him in heaven, or him on the other side, or God showing you that he's okay. It's out of the context of your psychology in the moment.
Yeah.
In that moment of time, going through the grief. And it just makes more sense, actually, logically, that it would be somebody, God from the other side, saying, hey, he's okay.
Yeah. And it's like, that's what's made me every day get up, and I feel sad at first, and then I just picture him smiling and coming out of that water, coming out of that ocean with this big smile, with his arms up, like, Mom, I'm free now, I'm okay. And it's just like in such clarity that I have no reason to doubt that, and it's just of great comfort to me. I saw a painting the other night in my sleep, in my dream, of me and Joshua. It came to me. Often I have the dream, and there's these forms and colors, and I don't quite understand what it is. And then I go, well, wait a minute. I'm not classically trained. I never went to art school. I'm like, some lady gave me a watercolor set, right? Totally coming from spirit.
Amazing.
Yeah. But I saw it, and so to get it from my mind, from the dreamland, onto some sort of canvas or watercolor paper, it's going to take a little time, because I see the vision in my mind, and it's a little abstract. It's very unique, but I'm really excited. I'm going to take my time on that, and I'm really excited to do that. Yeah.
So that's your next project that you're just starting.
Yep.
That is amazing. Gosh, it's just so amazing how you get your images from dreams, and then there's just so much talent on
Yeah.
that, you know,
Yeah.
that just gifting from God. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What a journey.
It is. And you know, it's funny because I think about art and it's really so present and so alive. I know you put it on a canvas and it's almost like the substance that's now manifested, but something about the performing arts, the visual arts, all of it, it just takes on a life of its own. And I don't know, it's just really the whole idea of art is changing for me. You know, I've gotten to know other artists at the gallery and I'm in that circle now. And I ask about their process and what they do. And it's such a spiritually driven medium. I mean, all of it, it's just, there's so much there. Oftentimes the other artists, myself, you create something and subconsciously, it's going to speak to someone, even though you don't even know what it is, especially abstract art.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I mean, you don't even know.
It has an interpretation for you. It might have a completely different interpretation for somebody else. But I agree with you. There's always a deeper experience, like a spiritual experience you could see. Now, have you had dreams of songs? And with your music?
Oh yeah. You know, it's funny because I did music at first years ago. I did music when I was in Boston. I was in several groups and had many gigs when I was younger and played a mean tambourine and sang my heart out and rock and roll and all that.
That's awesome.
And then and then you know, when I got sober, I wasn't comfortable in the atmosphere anymore, and I didn't think it was the best thing for me. So, you know, I started slowing down in my music, you know, quest. But a lot of songs do come to me. I do wake up. It's been a while because if I'm doing music, what used to happen was oftentimes full songs. I would wake up in the morning with full songs. I mean, verses, choruses, melody, the whole thing. I've had songs that come in a whole, just like that.
I love it.
And then I started doing art and it started doing, you know, being that way. And now that I'm doing music again, I'm looking forward to some of that. It's almost like there's so much creativity from the creator that he wants to almost download us with, to bring it out here. To bring it out into this realm. There's not enough time in the day. I truly need eternity to be able to do it.
I keep a pad of paper by me at all times. Like I have at least 3 right now, just to write down ideas, and who knows.
It's just things.
So amazing. Ella, is there any other dream stories, any other nuggets of wisdom or insight that you want to share as we wrap up? We're coming to a close. As we say, maybe just some last words as we say goodbye for today. This has been so delightful, so insightful.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Nikki. Well, I wanted to share something just because it was really, you know, those things you hear, just little phrases through life. And there's something I heard when I, you know, first actually got sober. It has more to do with when I was a victim and I was an empty vessel. I mean, I have no idea who I was. And so I guess in a way I was able to get filled through the years, and maybe that's easier than undoing things. But something that somebody said a long time ago that I never ever forgot, and they said that joy is just as profound as pain. And I thought, what? Because through my life there was so much pain in all my relationships, specifically with men. You know, we bonded in our pain and our trauma and our past. I had no idea that joy was just as profound as pain. And when that woman said that at a meeting years ago, it really opened up my eyes to explore, what is this joy? Can I have joy? you know, and it was just over. And one other thing, my other favorite saying is that luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
When preparation meets opportunity. I love that. I love
and
that.
I live by that. It's like, okay, I can have a dream, I can have a medium, I can have creativity, but if I'm prepared, like if I'm doing music, and me and my husband just started doing music again, I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm going to be prepared for the opportunity when it arises. So
it's so wise.
Yeah.
And what you were saying about joy led me to actually a question I was going to ask you that I forgot, which was you might have experienced this. Please share if you have, that you don't have to strive to get joy. Like a lot of people I think like, and I thought this for a long time, well, one of these days I'll experience joy, but I have to take care of all this other stuff first. I've got to take care of all my traumas, and I've got to go past this, health crisis or whatever, and then I'll experience joy. But you can, but I don't know if this has been my experience. Maybe you can share. You can have like little bursts of joy here and there, like they just well up in the middle of profound sadness. Like both of them.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm experiencing that now in the middle of grief. I always thought it was adding things that was going to bring me happiness, which is different from joy, but it's really removing things. It's like the process of elimination. And my biggest thing is getting out of my own way. If I let go, they used to tell me in recovery, everyone's gonna work. Oh, I'm working on myself. I'm working on myself, because you do work the 12 steps. When I already did a job on myself. When I stopped working on myself, okay, when I stopped working on myself, I am not the one to work on myself. When I let God work on me through dreams, through visions, through people, through nature, through music, I just got out of my own way and let him. I just let go and let God. I know it's a cliche, but that's really what I did. I was just willing to let go of my ego, let go of the control. I don't know how to do this. I mean, this kind of transformation from victim to victory. Oh, you can read all the self-help that you want. If you don't let go of some of that and put it in the hands of a higher being, a higher power, a higher belief system, whatever that is for you, I just don't, I think it would be very difficult to truly come out that one door and get into that path of light. Get
into the 11-11. I love it. That's the thing, is like a lot of times maybe the dream or the vision just gives you an insight for you to take the first step in towards something. And then you take another step, and then you take it. It's a process. It's a journey. Thank you,
like
Ella.
Rose petals.
Rose petals.
It's like little rose petals.
I love it. I love it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Yep. The rose petals for your path.
There you go. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story, Ella, for being vulnerable,
You're welcome.
sharing your V2V story, for exploring dreams with us and your profound journey with them. We just really honor you, and thank you so much, Ella.
Thank you, Nikki. God bless everybody.
And
follow your dreams, Nikki. Okay, honey. Bye-bye. Good night.